Hello and welcome back to YouTube Stock Portfolio. I got a really interesting topic today about market randomness and my take on it. However, first, as you know, we got to jump into the stock we bought last week. And if you're looking up in the top right and you've been following along, you know the stock we bought last week is Google. Now, since we bought Google, it is up 1%. That's pretty good. Again, we're doing really well. And this is actually a kind of a special episode because this is 1 month since we've had this portfolio. So we're going to take a look at how it has done. But first, I want to tell you about YouTube Stock Portfolio. So if you don't know, YouTube Stock Portfolio is a portfolio where I buy what you tell me to. All you have to do is put in the comments what you want me to buy, and I will buy that stock. I've just been buying these particular big tech company stocks because we haven't got a comment yet. Once we do, that's the stock I'll buy. The portfolio will be completely owned and managed by the comment section. Really interested to see where this goes. But anyway, let's jump into it. This past week, as you can see, we've been up 3.72%, which if last week you remember, I was talking about I was not very optimistic about the future this week because we just had so many great green weeks in the past. And over this past month, we're up 4.88%. Remember, even though we had really large percentages early on, that's going to be smaller in terms of our overall portfolio size. But hey, this is a really good amount that we have in our portfolio. If this was something like investing $500 a week, we would already be up $100, which would be incredible. Anyway, let's jump into the interesting part of the video.
We got a pretty interesting topic today, and that topic is the stock market random? So, first, we got to ask, what is random? Well, random is when something is unpredictable, meaning it cannot be predicted. So, for the stock market to be random, it would not be able to be predicted at all. So, is it random? Well, no. The short answer is no. The market is predictable. Typically, it goes up over time and typically reacts well to good news and poorly to bad news. So clearly, it has things that it reacts to that could be predicted by. If you could pause time when bad news came out before the stock market reacted, you could make a very correct prediction. And you would be right most of the time. So it is predictable. But the real question people want to know when it's random is, can you predict it in a way that you can make money on? And that's a completely different question. If news comes out that's poor, bots are going to understand that news and trade significantly faster than a human ever could. So, can you predict the market? Well, I think a good place to start with this is mutual funds. A lot of people start here and they say, well, if mutual funds can't predict and can't beat the market, then you probably can't either. Now, I think a lot of people don't think about this in terms of it being in the context of a market. You see, while a mutual fund is trading on a market, they're also affecting the very market that they trade on. So let's take a look at what this means. Imagine you have a stock, and every Tuesday the stock jumps 10%, then the next day it drops down 5%. Now imagine you realize this. What are you going to do? You're going to buy the stock before Tuesday and sell it at day's end, so you make 10%, and come back and do it again next week. Well, what does this look like in terms of an actual marketplace? Let's say you buy the stock Monday before market close. Well, putting in the orders for the stock inherently increases the demand, which increases the price. So now you actually increase the price by 1% already. The stock's still going to jump 10% from what it was on Friday, but that's only going to be 9% from your buying price. Then at the end of the day, you go to sell the stock. Well, the sell pressure is going to actually lower the value of the stock. So all of a sudden, you're only up 8% as opposed to the 10% you would be up if your volume didn't affect the market. Well, I bet you're thinking 8% in a week? That's not bad at all. But imagine a market full of hyper-rational buyers and bots use incredibly advanced algorithms to find patterns like this and basically squash them down to zero. If you're competing in a space, as people gain capital, they gain more and more market influence, and slowly the advantages they once had will go to zero. So what does this all mean? Well, it certainly doesn't mean that nobody can predict the market. There are certainly people out there who are predicting the market really, really well, and their capital is going to grow and grow and grow until eventually their influence on the market outweighs the advantage that they once had, and they inevitably return to around the market price. So, what do you have to do if you want to predict the market? Well, you would have to find a space that not a lot of people are in. Maybe it's a predictor that's really early in its stages and not a lot of people have found. On top of that, you also have to have a predictor that has a valid impact on the market. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to trade on how many birds are outside my apartment complex. Obviously, that's going to have no impact on the market. You have to actually find something of value that not a lot of people are using, which is incredibly, incredibly hard. So, back to our original premise. Is the market random? No, it's definitely predictable, and there are ways that you can predict it. However, can you predict the market to make money? I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's incredibly, incredibly difficult.
Hope you enjoyed that take on the stock market being random. Remember, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a comment as to the stock you want me to buy next week, and I will buy it, and we can continue this amazing run, and hopefully we can be up again next week as well. Check back in next week, see where our portfolio has gone. Make sure to leave a comment, like, and subscribe if you want.